Hello friends, in last lecture we discussed about the prelims examination of UPSC. Today we are going to discuss in detail about the structure and pattern of UPSC mains examination. Again I want to make one thing very clear. In this video we are not going to discuss the pattern of study, the strategy or any other thing. In this video our main purpose shall be to understand the marking pattern of UPSC mains, what are the subjects in UPSC mains and what is the level of answer writing which is being expected from you, that we are going to have a brief look in this video about UPSC mains. So let's start with the video on UPSC mains. As we have seen in last lecture that UPSC is an examination which is having almost three stages. First one, that is a prelims stage. Second one, which is mains stage, and third one is an interview stage. So in last lecture we discussed about prelims stage. Now today we will be discussing about mains stage. Before moving forward, again one thing I want to make it very clear. While deciding your final merit rank in UPSC examination, the marks of only interview and mains are taken into consideration, whereas marks that are being scored in the prelims examination are just of a qualifying nature and they are not considered while deciding your final merit list. This thing must be keep in mind. And another important point which you should keep in mind is that this is a game of here at every stage where you are not able to clear that stage, you have to again start from the zero. That is, if you fail in mains, you have to go for prelims, mains, interview. If you fail in interview, again you have to start from prelims, mains, interview. So you have to keep on repeating these stages every time you fail this examination. So this is an examination of meticulous preparation where you have to take care of every basic aspect. So keep it in mind. So today we are going to study this particular second stage of the UPSC examination, which is mains examination. Now here we will try to understand some basic points about the UPSC mains examination. What are those basic points? First point, remember UPSC is the second phase of civil service examination. Once you clear first phase of civil service, you comes to the second phase of civil service examination. Here the point which we discussed just few minutes back, only the students who have successfully cleared UPSC prelims examination will be given a chance to write mains examination. It means prelims is a qualifying examination, prelims is a screening examination which you have to clear to write mains examination. Then what is so the special or uniqueness of this mains examination? So the uniqueness is UPSC mains examination is a written examination or it is a descriptive examination. It means you have to write answers. As we seen in prelims examination, prelims is an objective examination where you have question, you have options and you have to choose one of the correct option. It means UPSC prelims is an objective or multiple choice question based examination, whereas UPSC mains is a written or descriptive examination where you have to write your answers in detail. And this is the beauty of this examination because it brings out your creativity, it brings out your innovation, and most importantly it tries to capture the different way of your thinking which you are able to reproduce in your answer sheet. So remember, UPSC is an examination of writing, which is the most important skill which must be developed by every student to score good marks in the UPSC mains examination. What are the objectives of UPSC mains examination as per given by Union Public Service Commission? Mains examination will test the candidate's academic talent in depth and his or her ability to present his or her understanding according to the requirement of the questions in a time bound manner. It means it has time limit and you have to write answer in given short time period within the specified word limit. I want to make one thing very clear. Any violation of word limit given by UPSC will bring penalty marks. I repeat once again, any violation of word limit given by UPSC will bring penalty marks in your examination. So you have to stick to the word limits which are given in your examination. Now here one thing which is very important is that UPSC mains examination is consist of 9 papers. I repeat once again, from here try to understand the structure of examination. UPSC mains examination is composed of 9 papers. First thing, in those 9 papers, first 2 papers are qualifying papers. It means The marks scored in first two papers are not considered while deciding your final merit list. It means out of 9 papers, first 2 papers are qualifying papers, whereas remaining 7 papers are considered while deciding your merits. So out of these 9 papers, these first 2 papers are just only qualifying papers. This should be kept in mind. The qualifying papers are two. One which is English language paper, which is a compulsory paper. It means those students who are having fear about UPSC mains examination, keep it in mind. You have one question paper of English. You have to write that English paper, and this paper shall be of 300 marks. Second qualifying paper will be any Indian language paper given in the 8th schedule of the Indian Constitution. It means you can choose any regional language, like you can choose Marathi, you can choose Bengali, you can choose Gujarati. Even those students who are living in Maharashtra, but they are more comfortable in writing Hindi, as many English medium students have Hindi as preferred language, so they can choose Hindi as the regional language. So keep it here in mind. You have to choose two papers. One English language paper, which is compulsory. Second, you have to choose any Indian language paper. This paper will also be of 300 marks. But the important thing, marks scored in these two papers will not be counted while deciding your final merit list. These two papers are purely the what we can say, these papers are purely qualifying nature of the paper. Now here one thing is there, some very important points are there which I want to make it very clear. Why? Because many a time it happens that you take regional language papers very casually and you fail in those regional language papers. So what is the first point? Only those students who are able to score minimum 25% marks in both the qualifying papers are will be eligible to get their papers evaluated for the essay, general studies and optional. It means in both your regional language paper and in English paper, you have to score minimum 25% marks in each paper. If you score minimum 25% marks in these qualifying papers, then and then only your papers of essay, your papers of general studies and your papers of optionals will be evaluated. It has happened with many students who granted these two papers very casually, who considered these two papers very casually. They failed either in the regional language paper or failed in English language paper, and their papers of essay, GS and optionals were not evaluated. So keep it in mind, you have to score minimum 25% marks in qualifying papers. Both papers separately 25% marks must be scored. Now, second thing also, as we have seen Marathi or regional language and English, then you have 4 general studies paper. Also, you have to choose one of the optional subject. You should have one optional subject. What is the list of optional subject? I have discussed those optional subject. We'll go to that optional subject, but the one thing, you are expected to prepare for optional level at the graduation level. The questions that are being asked in the optional papers are not of a PhD level, they are just common sensical question, and it is based on your understanding of graduation. Only few 2 to 3 questions are there which needs specialized knowledge, but the questions which require specialized knowledge are mostly questions from current events which require your in-depth preparation. So this was the basic. Another important point is each paper will have a duration of 3 hours. Like in UPSC prelims, each paper has a duration of 2 hours. Here, each paper of UPSC mains shall have a duration of 3 hours. Then 7 papers, like your optional 2 papers and 4 papers of general studies and 1 paper of essay. 1 paper of essay, then 4 papers of general studies and then 2 papers of optional. So you can write these 7 papers in any language of your preferred choice. There is absolutely no restriction on the language that you are selecting. The 7 papers can be written in any of the languages mentioned under 8th schedule of the Constitution of India, or they can be written in the English. Remember, you can write essay or those 4 GS papers or the 2 optional papers in any language of your preferred choice. There is no restriction on the language in which you are going to write the paper. So this is very basic thing. So one regional language paper, second English language paper compulsory, and the 7 papers you can write in any language of your choice. what are the components of English language paper? As I told you, English language paper is a compulsory paper. It has almost 300 marks. First thing, English language paper has 300 marks. It will composed of 100 marks shall be given for essay. Then reading comprehension shall have 60 marks. Then precise writing shall have 60 marks. Translation from English to compulsory language will have 20 marks. From compulsory language to English will have 20 marks. And grammar and basic language usage will have 40 marks. So this is the what we can say basic division of 300 marks in English language paper. Same division is applicable to the regional language paper which you selected as a paper 1. I repeat once again, out of total 300 marks, 100 marks shall be given for essay, 60 marks for precise writing, 60 marks for reading comprehension, then for translation total 40 marks shall be there, and for grammar and normal English usage shall have 40 marks. So same is applicable to the regional language paper. Regional language paper is also of 300 marks. It has again essay of 100 marks, reading comprehension 60 marks, precise writing 60 marks, translation almost 40 marks, and language, grammar and its usage shall have 40 marks. It means regional language paper will also have again 300 marks. So these are the two basic things about regional language paper and English paper. So keep it in mind. Now in next series we will try to understand the basic pattern about the 7 papers. See, these are the 7 papers, paper 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. These are the 7 papers which are very important. Now what these 7 papers says, that we will try to understand. See, first paper is a paper of essay, right? Now one thing, this paper can be written in the medium of candidate's choice. There is no restriction to write the paper in way of UPSC. You can write the paper of essay either in your regional language or in Hindi or in English or in any language of your preferred choice. You have choice to write essay in your own language. It shall have total 250 marks, first thing. Then there are 4 general studies papers, GS1, GS2, GS3 and GS4. Each paper carries a 250 marks. It means general studies carries a weightage of almost 1000 marks. I repeat once again, general studies carries a weightage of almost 1000 marks, and there shall be 2 optional papers having the difficulty level of graduation, optional paper 1 and optional paper 2, each having 250 marks. It means optional paper has a weightage of 500 marks. In earlier examination, the weightage of optional was much higher, but recently the weightage of optional has been reduced. Right now, general studies has higher weightage. It means optional has a weightage of 500 marks, whereas general studies and essay combinedly have a weightage of almost 1250 marks. So this is basic marking pattern of UPSC mains examination. Total 7 papers are there whose marks shall be counted while deciding your final merit list, whereas 2 papers are there whose marks shall not be counted while deciding your final merit list. So you have to write total 9 papers in the UPSC mains examination. Then we'll try to understand the syllabus of UPSC mains examination, every syllabus word by word. Now this is the syllabus of general studies. As discussed, general studies will have total 300 marks. It shall be given a time period of 3 hours to write the answer, and you have to write answers. Now general studies 1 is composed of like history and geography. It composed of various components, like first it composed of Indian heritage and culture. Remember, general studies 1 paper has first 3 to 4 questions based on Indian heritage and culture. So you cannot skip these first 2 to 3 questions. Why? Skipping these first 2 to 3 questions will create a bad impression about your answer writing. So anyhow, you have to prepare Indian heritage and culture in detailed manner. To make it more easier while you are studying for prelims examination, you have to take care that you are reading ancient and medieval India in depth, so that this will help you in writing UPSC mains examination. So first part of general studies 1 is Indian heritage and culture, second is about Indian modern history, third is about world history, fourth is about society. See, society is the most neglected part of UPSC mains general studies paper 1, but it is the most scoring part of GS1. Why? Because every year UPSC asks around 3 to 4 to 5 questions on society, and last point is India, world and geography. So basically, if we try to give name to general studies 1, we can call this paper as a paper of history and geography. We can call paper 1 as history and geography. This is first component of GS1. Now coming to second paper of UPSC mains. Second paper is basically related with polity. Now, this paper 2 is composed of few important points. First point is about governance. Like what is governance, what is ministry, what is state government, what is central government, what all things are there is part of this general studies paper 2. Second, it is composed of constitution. Third, it is composed of political system. Fourth, it is composed of Indian political science and international relations. Basically, this part is very useful for your options of political science also. And last one, it is composed of social justice and governance, which covers almost all the government policies, programs and schemes of the government of India. So this is general studies 2. Basically, I will call this general studies paper 2 as a paper of polity and international relation. Remember, paper 2 will be called as polity and international relation. Paper 1, it is a paper of history and geography. Paper 2, it is a paper of polity and international relation. But you have to keep in mind that in general studies, most of the questions are asked on current event based, and most of the questions are based on the government policies, schemes, programs and newer laws which are affecting the life of common man. So this is general studies paper 2. Now third paper is about economics, which is a general studies paper 3. Paper 3 or GS3 requires in-depth knowledge of current event. You should be very thorough about the current event. Keep it in mind that you should have very good knowledge of the current event. Paper 3 composed of, first, it is composed of economic development, which means all basic economic data and concepts are being taken into consideration, and current events are taken into consideration while asking questions on general studies 3. Second, it is composed of technology, like technology is related to nuclear technology, space technology, then your biotechnology is there, energy is there. All these components are taken care. But remember, in technology section, most of the questions are related to basic application. They do not go for higher application which are applicable to the current event. So most of the questions in technology sectors are basic applications which are related to the day-to-day life of a common man. Third, it talks about biodiversity and environment, which is also there in UPSC prelims examination. It is one of the most important component of general studies paper 3. Most of the questions on biodiversity paper are related to the current event. Keep it in mind. Fourth, it is composed of disaster management. Most of the questions on disaster management are current event based, and also they go into the legal and executive aspects of the disaster management. And last one is security, where you are being asked questions on security related parameters of the Indian preparedness for tackling all these things. So it is the basically I will call paper 3 as a paper of economy and security. Keep it in mind, I will call it paper as economy and security. So paper 1 is of history and geography, paper 2 is of polity and international relations, paper 3 is economy, then environment and technology. Keep it in mind, it is paper 3. And fourth paper, the most scoring paper which gives you more marks, is ethics. Keep it in mind that paper 4 is the most scoring paper of UPSC mains examination since the change of UPSC mains syllabus. It is the paper which has made many students IAS officers, and this paper do not require a philosophical knowledge. Paper 4 just demands whether you are able to apply the theory, whether you are able to apply philosophy to your day-to-day life, whether you are able to use everything that you learn in day-to-day case studies, whether you are able to have good decision making or not, is being studied into the general studies 4. So keep it in mind, general studies 4 is the most important paper of UPSC mains examination, which will give you very good score, and you have to be prepared for preparing ethics in a very good manner. And the most important quality for a person to score good marks in ethics is he should have the quality of internalization. What is meaning of internalization? He should have the ability to understand every concept in his or her own language. He or she should be able to understand, read, understand, comprehend, analyze and reproduce that answer in a very good manner for other people is at the base of this general studies paper 4. So keep it in mind, the most scoring paper of UPSC mains examination is general studies 4, and it demands your very good writing practice, and it also demands your very good skill at innovation and writing very good answer. So keep it in mind, it is general studies 4 which can give you very good marks. Now this was about general studies, all the paper 4s. Now these are the names of optionals, right? Out of these optionals you can choose any optional of your choice. There is no restriction. Let us say I am having a graduation of BSc Science, but I can choose geography, or I am a geography graduate but I can go for physics. So your graduation do not act as any kind of restraint upon selecting the option of your choice. These are the all numbers of options that you can choose. I will just read out the names of options, just keep in mind, and while I am reading these options you can just go through the list of options. First one, it is agriculture, then geology, history, sociology, statistics, then it is Marathi literature, Manipuri literature, Hindi literature, zoology, geography, law, public administration, Urdu literature, Nepali literature, Malayalam literature, Gujarati literature, animal husbandry and veterinary sciences, electrical engineering, economics, anthropology, botany, chemistry, civil engineering, commerce, management, mathematics, mechanical engineering, medical science, philosophy, physics, then political science and international relations, psychology, and all these are the parts of literature of your 8th schedule. So you can choose any optional of your choice to write mains examination. So basically UPSC is very liberal examination which do not put any kind of restriction upon your writing practice. So keep this thing in mind. You can choose optional of your choice to write very good in your UPSC mains examination. Now as we discussed, UPSC mains is consist of total 9 papers. Out of those 9 papers, 2 papers are qualifying papers, whereas the marks of 7 papers shall be counted while deciding your final merit list. Now, if we go by the total number of marks, UPSC is an examination of 750 marks. Here, those 600 marks of regional language paper and English are not taken into consideration. So basically, UPSC is an examination of total 1750 marks. Second, UPSC mains is an examination of written examination. Third, very important point which you have to keep in mind is you have to write your answers within just only 150 to 250 words. You have to stick to word limit. Any violation of word limit will bring you penalty marks. This is very serious. It happens that many people write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mains, but they are not able to clear the examination. Why? Because they do not stick to word limit, they do not write answers professionally. Most importantly, they do not give justice to the question. They write what they know. They do not write what is being asked into the examination. So keep it in mind. You have to write your answers within just only 150 to 250 words. Another important point is word limit must be strictly followed. Any violation of word limit will cause a penalty in your marks. Now, another point is that you will be provided with blank answer sheet on which there will be a question printed on it. This you have to keep in mind. I will just show you the diagram if it is available over here. Now, see, like this, a blank sheet is there. You just follow the sheet. Like this blank sheet is there. On this blank sheet, a question shall be printed on the front of the paper, and you have to write answer in this area. It means if any wrong answer, if you try to write answer in a hurry and if you make any mistake, you will not be provided separate answer sheet, you will not be provided separate supplement. Even most importantly, if you make mistakes in 4 or 5 questions and if you demand that invigilator to replace your answer booklet will not be replaced. Once given answer booklet will be continued till the end of the examination. So do not make any hurry while writing answer. Make a practice of writing answers at home on blank pages, that too with a space provided for your answers, because writing answers within space is an art. No supplement will be provided. You will be provided with a space to write the answer. No repeat answer sheet will be provided. If you make many number of mistakes, still you will not be given any repeat answer sheet. If you spoil the space on your answer sheet, still no separate paper will be provided to you. It is an examination of professionalism, and practice is at the base of this very examination. Keep it in mind. You have to write your answers within the space provided and only on the pages which are given to you. So this must be followed very genuinely, very professionally. Now, Third phase is about interview. We are going to study about the interview in detail in next few lectures. Here I will just give you brief idea about the civil service interview. One more thing I want to make very clear, UPSC do not ask Facebookish or WhatsAppish type of questions in UPSC interview. You might have seen those WhatsApp and Facebook posts where they give those silly questions about UPSC interview. How many stairs are there, how many stitches are there to your shirt. Like these silly nonsense questions are never asked in UPSC civil service interview. All the questions that are being asked are mostly general studies based. They are based on your optional, they are based on your graduation, and they are based on your background, and the questions are very simple. There are no tricky question. Only they try to bring out your opinion, they try to bring out your personality, and the most important thing, they try to bring out your thought process, how you think, what are your thinking parameters, and whether you are able to reproduce what you think in a simple, legible, understandable manner or not is the basic purpose of interview. So interview is of total 275 marks. Candidates who qualifies the UPSC mains examination will be called for personality test or interview test. Those selected candidate will be interviewed by a board appointed by UPSC. Now here it is the objective of UPSC interview given by Union Public Service Commission. I will just read it. The objective of the interview is to assess the personal suitability of the candidate for a career in the civil service by a broad, competent and unbiased observer. So this is basic. They are not going to check your knowledge, they are not going to check your intelligence, they are not going to check anything. They are just checking suitability of your for civil services, whether you are suitable for civil service or not. If you are suitable, they will give you very good marks to get selection in final list. But if you are not suitable, then they will throw you out of the list, whatever be the score of your mains, because getting very less score in UPSC interview will automatically exclude you from the final merit list. So this was the basic of UPSC interview. Now this is the final summary of about UPSC. See, mains marks are composed of total 1750 marks. Now these mains marks are composed of, as we have seen just few minutes back, mains marks are composed of one essay paper, then 4 GS paper, and then 2 optional papers. So these are total 7 papers of mains examination. Then interview mark is of total 275 marks. So total is 2025. So your final merit will be based on this total 2075 marks. So keep it in mind, you have to score out of this 2075 marks to get a good rank, to get a good post in the civil service examination. So this was the basic. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank you.